Kinara wa Wiper Kalonzo Musyoka ambaye amefika mbele ya jopo kazi linalopokea maoni ya wakenya kuhusu utekelezaji wa ripoti ya BBI.
Tuende moja kwa moja hadi katika jumba la mikutano la KICC ambapo Kalonzo Musyoka anaendelea kutoa mapendekezo. Naarifiwa kwamba amemaliza kutoa mapendekezo. Hebu tusikize hivi sasa Mutula Kilonzo Junior nafikiri pia yuko katika kikao anatoa maoni yake.
Yes. But because they already have some perks under retirement benefits. But in the case of the German Senate, they find a place where they can sit as Council of Elders. And that's why I agree with the party leader, my party leader, that if you want to make it truly a House of Elders, make it truly a House of Elders. And the leader of opposition, I'm not sure what your recommendations are in terms of where they will sit, but all the constitutional Article 15 commissions and PAC and PIC should be under the leader of opposition. That's what I think the party leader wanted to say, but we had not mentioned it.
Thank you. Well done. I will ask Farah to talk about security, safety, because I noticed that you require whoever is a president within 3 months to give a statement, an account of how safe the country is. So without security, and by the way, my own very strong feeling about a free port will actually even address insecurity in our region. All the problems we have. I think it's about time we reconsidered our presence in Somalia, seriously, within the framework of AMISOM and what have you. It used to be our policy that the frontline countries in the region, mainly Kenya, Ethiopia, Djibouti, would not send troops into Somalia. A lot of things have since happened. And I think that we need now to see how do we guarantee security of our citizens. That's the most important thing. And if you go and reflect on what I've just suggested about a free port, you see that will be the answer to this problem within our border. But Farah?
There's something I wanted to say.
Yeah, okay.
There's something that IBC has raised under Article 89, and I thought I should mention because my deputy party leader has also mentioned. The limitation of boundaries is between 8 and 12 years. If your proposal is to retain, what they are doing is going to be in conflict with your proposals. My own view, and possibly even the party, is that the limitation for purposes of the 8 years should be stood down, and for purposes of what you are doing, we take it to the 12-year. Let's consider the 12 years at the 12-year period as opposed to the 8 years.
8 years.
So that in the 12th year, which will be the year 2024, we can consider the limitation of boundaries. The third one is the boundaries of counties under Article 188. We are not going to make progress unless we find a framework of how to deal with those boundaries. Thank you.
As Honorable Farah comes on board, the chair has asked that after Honorable Farah, you allow for members to ask questions.
Sure. Yeah.
I'll begin by seconding very well the statement by Mutula Kilonzo, Councillor Mutula Kilonzo, on the issue of the delimitation of the boundaries. Because the census, we have serious issues with the census which had just taken place, but that is something I'm sure there will be too many people who will be talking about it. Now, I would talk about insecurity because insecurity in this case is coupled with a number of things. The region where we come from, which is the biggest part of the landmass of this country, which I think constitutes not less than 70% of the landmass, was called the Northern Frontier Districts. Those were basically a buffer zone at the colonial time for what was essentially the high potential areas where the white settlers wanted to do their businesses in terms of farming. And as an independent country, there was need for us to have a positive both regulatory as well as statutory apparatus or equipments to try and bring that into the fold. As opposed to that, in 1965, we came up with what was called the Sessional Paper Number 10, which essentially fortified what the colonials did in terms of discriminating against a whole section of this country. Now,